Hi guys. Okay, for today's lesson, um, we're going to talk about ethos, logos, and pathos in kairos. You had some reading to do, rhetorical analysis, kairos, and rhetorical strategies, and then understanding rhetoric in our book, pages 37 to 67. So we're going to discuss those. I want to go into very specific detail in class over ethos, logos, and pathos. I want you guys to understand what it is because you're going to be using them when we write our papers, the rhetorical analysis that we talked about on Monday. Okay, so let's get into it. Let me bring this up on the screen a little better. Here we go. Okay. So, ethos, logos, and pathos are rhetorical strategies. Kairos, as we will talk about, is more about time. So, ethos is the appeals to credibility. The credibility the writer brings to the subject that they are writing about. So, your credibility or the author's credibility, right? It displays wisdom, demonstration of expertise, displays character of the speaker, one's own virtue, a form of argument based on character and authority. So, like in our Independence Interrupted, the author of that holds a PhD. She talks about Harvard, I think, and Pew Research. I think it was Harvard. I'm not sure, I don't remember. But she brings up that credibility, that factor that is important, the ethos appeals, right? So, ethos can be memories, a feeling, and logic, insights, values, and beliefs. Rhetoric is about the spaces in which we write, converse, debate, and share ideas. Okay? So, ethos is the appeal that relies on establishing some form of credibility with an audience and or realizing who your audience finds credible. Okay? So, you can showcase your own expertise as an author by using clear, straightforward manner. So, we've talked about this in class before. Those details that you put in your writing that explain what you're thinking helps me to understand. So, that clear, straightforward manner of writing where you lay out everything that's in your head so you don't leave me asking questions going, I don't understand what you mean. So, as you're writing, you want to really focus on those questions. And as you can see, meeting the needs of your audience, respond to questions, give potential counter arguments. So, as you're writing, I want you to really think about, would my audience understand this sentence the way I have written it? Is there any details that are left out that might cause them to ask a question? Always bring up the potential counter arguments that someone might have. Like, think about what they might ask if they read your paper. Is there an element that they might go, but what about, cover those in your writing to make sure that you realize there can be counter arguments and why you think that your side is right, no matter what argument they could possibly come up with. Utilizing reliable sources and experts. So you're going to cite professional, trustworthy, well-known sources. Like I said, using that Harvard University source or the Pew resource source. That's a mouthful. Using somebody who has a PhD because they're well versed in that subject. Those types of experts and sources. So everybody knows, your audience, as they're reading that's going to go, oh, yep, that's a credible source. They must know what they're talking about, right? That's ethos. Okay, pathos appeals. pathos, appeals to emotion. There we go. So pathos is the use of emotion in debate or argument. We can control pathos through word choice and through style. You need to understand emotions and their triggers in order to control or excite them. Emotion is based on proximity, both spatially, our physical relation, and then relationally, the relationship you have with someone, a personal relation. A form of argument based on emotions, such as fear, desire, sympathy, and anger. So pathos is the appealing to the emotions of your audience in an extremely effective way to get them to react in a way that you would want them to. So some devices to elicit certain emotions could be music, colors, the tone of a speaker's voice, the font you use to write with. Even your font can say something to your reader, whether it be very easily to be read, whether it be very sophisticated and appealing, things like that. Music, you could have soft music, loud music, like death jam music that's crazy loud, and all music is going to set a tone. Colors. Yellow is supposed to be happy. Blue is supposed to be calming. Red is alarming, gets attention. Those things. Pathos can be used effectively to provide context to your audience. Real world situation directly impacts them, right? You talk about, like in your literacy narratives, you gave me real world situations, things that affected your writing, and things that might have directly impacted your audience too. They could have had some similar real world situations with their writing, right? So things like that. That's pathos. Anger is an effective but dangerous tool. So be ethical, right? We always want to be ethical. We want to inspire change or peaceful protest and refuse to allow oppressive ideologies. That's part of pathos. So logos appeals to logic, appeal to reason, to the forcefulness of a well thought out and well structured position. There again, getting all those details from your mind onto that paper and have it written out is a well thought out and well structured position. I know for me, when I started writing, that was probably the hardest thing for me, was to focus on my audience and getting everything that was in my head down on paper. I knew what I was thinking in my head, and so when I wrote it out, I thought, oh, they'll understand that, not realizing that I didn't put enough details in there and get my full thought onto that paper. And so therefore my instructor or my peers would be confused. So to be a good writer, you have to be able to get those well thought out and well structured positions on that paper, not just in your head. You've got to spell it out for us on the paper, on the page, right? So logos is a form of argument based on logic and facts and figures. Okay, it's more logos reminds me kind of statistics a little bit. So logos is the appeal to logic and organization. It requires you to think about the most effective order to put your thoughts in and to think about what types of proof you can provide to your audience. Okay? It's getting those details down, putting them in order so that it makes logical sense. So familiarize yourself with popular arguments and counter arguments. Okay, knowing those arguments and counter arguments can make yours more solid. Rely on well-known experts and well-researched. Okay, make sure you research the heck out of whatever you're going to be writing about so you know all sides. And that way you can talk about those counterclaims and dismiss them for your audience. Know the well-known experts in your field of whatever you're researching so you can use those as sources. Be aware of common sense and commonly accepted ideas. So you don't need new ideas to convince your audience. You just need to be aware of them. Okay? So here's some examples of ethos and pathos and logos. So how to identify ethos in ads. 1. Endorsed by celebrity. 2. By someone in a uniform. 3. By professional looking people. So this ad is an example of ethos because it has a famous person selling mascara. It's Julia Roberts, right? So that's ethos, an argument based on character or authority. For pathos, that's the emotions: fear, desire, sympathy, anger. This one, number 1, fear, get this or else. Number 2, desire, half naked people. Empathy, sad kids or cute dogs. Hunger, awesome looking food that looks way better than it does in real life. We've all seen that in fast food ads everywhere, right? Okay, so this ad is an example of pathos because we feel sympathy for the sad looking dog. They are selling me dog food. Okay? Logos has to do with facts, percentages, lots of words and information, charts and figures, statistics. So this ad is an example of logos because it has different plans listed with different prices. So it's telling me facts about the phone. Okay? So there's your 3 examples of ethos, pathos, and logos. Okay? Because those are the things you're going to be focusing on in your rhetorical analysis. Those are the things that we're going to be talking about that the author of the article uses in the paper. You're going to tell me how they use ethos, pathos, and logos in their paper, and then prove to me by using text evidence in the paper saying, yep, she used ethos here. She is talking about Pew research, therefore giving me ethos. Sorry, my grandson just walked in the room. Hang on just a second, guys. Sorry. Okay, sorry, guys. So anyway, ethos, talking about Pew research in the article. So it's endorsed by a credible research company, right? So that's the use of ethos. Pathos, what is it? Independence Interrupted. There's a picture in there of a girl with her family, and she doesn't look very happy. And the parents are kind of standing by with kind of a smile, you know, like, yay, our daughter's home. And she's like, no. That's a use of pathos, okay? That's emotions. You can tell that she's not feeling very good about being home because her independence has been taken away or interrupted. So that's how the picture in that article, that's how the author uses a picture to depict pathos. Okay, so you would talk about that in your paper. You know, you would tell me the author uses this picture to promote pathos because you can see that the daughter looks a little unhappy about having her independence taken away, right? So I just wanted to give you some examples. Okay, so Kairos is basically the perfect, delicate, crucial moment in time. Okay, so it's the fleeting rightness of time and place that creates the opportune atmosphere for action, words, or movement. Now, you do not have to use this in your paper, and this isn't one of the big rhetorical strategies like ethos, logos, and pathos, but I wanted to kind of bring your attention to it just to learn about it a little bit so you know what it is. So if you hear about it, see it, whatever, you'll know. Okay. So Kairos, debates about difficult issues are often time sensitive. Voting to reduce spending on universities. These are all examples of Kairos, okay? Often there is a narrow window within which one can speak out to affect an issue. In a legal proceeding, participants are expected to speak only at certain times. And praise or blame for people in the public eye may sway opinions at crucial moments. So those are all examples of kairos. Okay, so that talks about our readings for this week, which is really what I wanted to get into. So in class, we are doing Dear Professor. Okay, it is a little exercise. It is worth 10 points. We did it in groups. You are to follow the prompt in your understanding rhetoric readings on page 69, number 4. So, your classmate has just heard that your instructor plans to test students on this chapter by requiring in class essays summarizing the content, closed book. And whatever text you see fit, an email, a text message, an open letter, a social media rant, a formal letter to your instructor or someone else, try to stop this in class essay from happening. Consider the rhetorical occasion and the context, and compose an effective rhetorical response. What appeals will be most effective for your audience? What genre feels most chaotic? Okay, so I expect this to be at least a couple paragraphs, so you may implement your rhetorical strategies sufficiently. Assign one person in the group to write, which you guys, being online doing this, if you were absent in class, that's not going to pertain to you. Okay. So I would say make sure to include the text option that you pick: a text message, an open letter, a social media rant, a formal letter to your instructor or someone else. Let me know what you're thinking. Being that you guys were absent, to get your 10 points for this, you guys are going to have to do it on your own versus the groups that everybody was in during class. So just make sure that you submit, and I will get your 10 points. As soon as you submit, it lets me know. I'm sorry you'll have to do it on your own versus the groups. But I didn't know how else to do it to make sure that you get your 10 points, because I want you to have the same opportunity that everybody else did. You're just not going to have that group collaboration, unfortunately. So yeah, just make sure you do that. When you do that, I will get you your 10 points. Okay, so then for Friday, February 11th, make sure that you bring your computer so we can write in our notebook. Make sure that you read Understanding Rhetoric, Strategic Reading, page 71 through 115. And then we'll probably do a class activity in class. Cooper, sorry guys. I think that's it. I think you're good to go. There's less reading this week, and then there's really no reading for the following week, or Monday, not the week, but Monday. So you should have a nice quiet weekend. I try really hard to structure our course so that you guys aren't overwhelmed with work. I know what that feels like, and I don't like it, and I don't want you guys to feel it. So I'm trying to help you reach your goals while not overdoing it. Okay, guys, as always, if you have any questions, if you need anything from me, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am available by Zoom anytime, and I will see you guys in class, hopefully. Thank you.